Okay, so turns out I have some time, so I wanted to talk a bit about contractors. But first, there's one thing I wanted to mention about the Reverb G2. Before I got my gun stuck, I basically couldn't use the Vector SMG because when gripping the grip, which is a bit lower than in the other guns, so the controllers were aligned so that my headset, which tracks the controllers, it had no idea where my front controller is. But fortunately now I can calibrate the vector to my gun stock so I can actually use it. Haven't used it, but I think it should work. Now I haven't tried that many guns, so I don't know if this would be an issue on some other guns as well. But at least with the vector, if someone else has the same issue but you don't want to buy a gun stock, maybe enabling a virtual gun stock could help. I mean, I have no clue how it works, but if the calibration mechanic is even close to the physical gun stock, it should help. And there was a second thing I wanted to mention. If you watched my first video with the MagTube, I had pretty bad lag during my gameplay. It started when I enabled the physical gun stock and wondered if that was, for whatever reason, the cause for the lag. Disabling the gun stock didn't help, so I didn't know what to do. But then I realized I had installed a free version of it was Wondershare Filmora editing software. I installed that at the same time. I have no clue what the issue was, but uninstalling Filmora made the problem go away. I have no clue what the thing was with it, but that solved my problem. But to contractors. Now I'm the kind of person who mostly sees the bad rather than the good. But for the good, I'd say that this game is pretty fucking good. Gunplay is solid. Communication system works, even though there's the option to press a walkie-talkie button to speak. But I haven't seen one on my character. Is it? Maybe it's near the ear, I don't know, I haven't tested it, but yeah. Doesn't really matter because I don't mind keeping comms full on or full off. The amount of available content is staggering and it's just fun to play. And then the negative. Now these are more my opinions than actual problems in the game, so please take them as such. I don't know where to start, so let's go with spawning. At some point I have died and spawned and got killed within a second of spawning. Quickest death was when I spawned and I was instantly already dead. So the spawn system I hope would be tweaked a bit. The next one is jumping. Sometimes I wish this game didn't have jumping. Even though while I realize this game is supposed to be more fast-paced action, it really diminishes the immersion of being in a battlefield when fuckers keep bunny hopping around corners. Fuck bunny hopping.
It is a sickness! It is deviant, therefore we do not want it. Do not partake in this ever again.
Now the next one isn't really a problem in the game as it is with my headset. I think we, with VR headsets like the HP Reverb G2 and the Valve Index and others, are in a bit of disadvantage compared to the likes with the Quest 2 with wireless headsets. Because unless you're using a pulley system, which I don't and won't use, because I know the missus wouldn't watch that shit for a second. We can't turn that fast because we have to be careful not to trip on the cable. But again, that's a choice we have made and a choice we have to live with. Honestly, I'll take a better picture over wireless any day, so I don't know why I'm even complaining about it. And I know it's more of an excuse, but rather than a problem, but fine. But yeah, another issue I have is with walking. You can choose whether your guy is walking the direction you're looking at, or the direction your left hand is pointing. But you can't choose to walk where your right hand is pointing, because my left controller is pointing pretty up, because it's aligned as a foregrip. So when I aim up, my guy starts walking backwards, which is pretty annoying. I mean, you can switch it to the right hand, but then you also have to control the movement stick with the right hand. And that's a bit too uncomfortable for me. If I'm wrong, I apologize, and do let me know, but at the moment that is an issue. The next one is a lack of progression. Or maybe not so much lack of progression, because there was a time when we had zero progression in games and we managed just fine. And I can enjoy a game without it having any actual progression. Shit, even in shooters that have weapon progression, I don't need most of the things that are being locked anyways. The problem lies more in lack of stats. Yes, there are stats in a match, but there are no stats on how you have done and are doing overall. When the match is done, you have no way to revisit your stats. If you wanted to know your KD after a match, but for some whatever reason missed it before the game sends you back to the lobby, too bad. And while we're on stats, knowing how many kills you have assisted in a match would be nice as well. I'm not 100% on this, but somewhere I think someone said that there were assists in this game at some point. But I haven't seen them, so for me they don't exist or have never existed. Yeah, and next, I mostly have had little issues with the gun stock calibration, but the World War II guns, even though they are included in the base game, I haven't really found any way to individually calibrate them. Mod weapons like the Star Wars and Halo ones I can understand, but World War II guns, it would be nice to at least try to calibrate them individually. But even with those minor gripes and grievances, I'd say Contractors is the most fun I have had playing a shooter for a long time. Now of course I have no other reference point towards PC VR shooters. The only VR shooter I have played was the Firewall 0 Hour in PSVR, and with the aim controller that sometimes worked, but most of the time it didn't. But when it did, it was pretty fun. But I'd say this is it was just only the 5v5, and you spent more time in the lobby than actually playing, so I don't know if that kind of factors, but I'd say this is pretty fucking fun. And yeah, talking about VR shooters, while Steam Winter Sale is still on, I've been thinking about buying 2 more shooters. My options at the moment are Pavlov, Veil and Onward, and I'm currently leaning more towards Veil and Onward. If I want to shoot around, I might as well play Contractors, but for what I understand, Veil and Onward focus more on the tactical aspect, and all I've seen Pavlov is basically just people screwing around. Once again, I might be wrong. I might have watched that wrong videos, maybe, but that's how I have seen it. So yeah, the way things are looking, I might be starting the new year with some videos of me trying to figure out Veil and Onward. In addition to my Contractors videos. But anyway, I think that's enough talking for one video. Thanks for watching, and bye. And hopefully have a nice 2023. Yeah, bye.
Yo, I see you, bro. I see you. Yo, I'm up on the roof. I'm up on the roof. Come on.
How'd you climb up there? Far left?
I don't know how you climbed up there. Good game,
No, I wanted to get up there. Fuck. I know I had to unlock that skin.
Run
I
this,
got like
run
10
this
more
map
kills for
again.
that skin.
Same map. We're doing.